There arose a king in Israel who knew not Joseph was the headline of the lengthy press statement released by former Deputy Premier Royal Robinson, agitated and in complete dissatisfaction with the discharge of duly elected representatives for an interim government. Robinson asked, who is the governor trying to fool, calling the actions of His Excellency Gordon Wetherell blatant, arrogant, and a total disregard for allegedly failing to notify the Speaker of Parliament formally that he was disbanding Parliament. Robinson describes the governor sarcastically as TCI's new knight in shining armor and said that with the Constitution suspended, Turks and Caicos Islanders will no longer be able to voice their pleas and have a sympathetic listening ear as they were given under ministerial government. Instead, locals will have to, quote, go to Waterloo and bow down to one man that was never elected to represent you, end quote. Robinson confessed that he didn't condone the revelations exposed in the British probe, but said despite this, there was still no need for Britain to intervene. In the press statement, he said, quote, you have succeeded in taking over the reins of government by a coup. I do not see any Indians or Russians trying to run the government. It is the British, and they must now take full responsibility for their actions. They cannot try to camouflage their actions and dress them up nicely in semantics. It is what it is, and you cannot hide from what you have done. There seems to be a total disregard for the rank and file of the Turks and Caicos people by some of these so-called experts who have done nothing more than push pencil from a cubbyhole. That arrogance is going to bite a number of you who have come with the preconceived notion that all Turks and Caicos Islanders who have made it to the top did so by corrupt means. If your circumstances allowed many of you or the British to only be able to live in a flat for the rest of your lives, well then, that's your problem. Robinson admitted that the system has flaws, but it was better than one man calling the shots. One man, he said, that has no appreciation for the struggles locals have faced, and one man who appointed the autocratic leader Martin Stanley, who will be inaccessible, reducing the people to, quote, pick a number and I will get back to you. The complaints to commissioners by the people, he said, have also gone to hell in a handbasket. Robinson bashed what appeared to be a loophole and a setup in Michael Missick's appeal in the UK High Courts, since FCO superiors stated that they were certain the case would have been lost. He also spoke out on the suspension of trial by jury, saying, quote, the right to trial by a jury of your peers is now out the window. You will be tried by a judge alone. Don't listen to the false platitude of what used to be Her Majesty's loyal opposition when they wrongly say that this would only apply to cases where persons of the stripe of Michael or Iron Mike Missick would be tried. That is total hogwash. This is going to be the law of the land for one and all. Lest you do forget, let me remind you of the kangaroo courts of the recent past, end quote. Robinson said that Britain threw the baby out with the bathwater and the elections ordinance was in need of an overhaul, and in the last session of the House of Assembly, that private member's bill was intended to do just that. But with Britain's move, they now have no relevance whatsoever. The press statement ended with this message to the governor. Check to see whose name and signature was on any piece of government document, save in a few instances when Cabinet gave clear instructions for a waiver. Governor, you have asked for it and you now got it. But just remember the saying, uneasy lies the head that wears the crown. End quote. Nikira John, WIV4 News.